Hi everybody and welcome back to Dragon Eye Creations. If you're new here, my name is Laurel and I love to create. And as many of you know, I have been busy working on the Highland cows. And I am happy to say I finally worked it out. I worked out a very simple way to make these adorable little Highland cows. They are so cute with their little tongues sticking out. So I'm going to show you guys right now how you can make your very own little Highland cow. Okay, we're going to start with our polymer clay, and we are going to just make a little ball and then smooth it out, kind of flatten it out a little bit, still rounding your edges. And I want it to be a little bit smaller at the bottom than at the top. And then I'm just going to take my ball tool here and make two little holes for our nostrils. And then we're just going to take this other clay tool and make a line for our mouth, kind of curving it up on the end a bit. And a little bit of a bump right in the middle. Next, I'm just going to take this tiny little bit of pink clay. We're going to make a little line in the middle and then lots of little dots all around it. And just a slight little triangle kind of shape here. And then we're going to make a spot for it right out of the mouth and just attach it there, curling it up. You can shape it however you want. I just kind of gave this one a little bit of a twist and then just attach it to the mouth. Next, for our horns, I'm just going to take this piece and roll it out so it's skinny on the ends and fatter in the middle. And once it's about 6 inches, I'm going to cut it right in half. Next, we're just going to put a toothpick right in the end of the one and just kind of keep rolling it and smoothing it as you go. I'm just going to add a little bit of detail, adding little scratch marks in it a bit. Same thing on the other one, a toothpick in there, smooth it. Some scratch marks. And next we're going to bake those at 130 for 45 minutes. Then we're going to take a 4-inch long pool noodle and I'm going to cut a piece of foam core board. This is also 4x2, removing the paper from one side, then putting the glue on the papered side and attach it straight to the bottom of our pool noodle. Next we are going to take this foam ball. This is about 1 3/4 when I measured it. There's no actual size on it. I'm just going to cut it in half and attach it to the one end of my pool noodle. And now I'm just going to start painting up my clay pieces after they've baked and cooled. You can just add a little hot glue to the end of the stick to attach those noses, because hot glue does not stick to polymer clay anyway. So next I just started painting the horns with a bone color, and then for the noses I just usually paint those so that they slightly match the fur that I'm going to be using for that one. Adding a little bit of black paint right where the mouth and nose are. And next I'm just going to take some fur, see how much I need to wrap it all the way around. I made a little cut just to see how wide I would need it. And then make a square from there. And then I'm just going to wrap it all the way around my pool noodle, attaching it to that foam core at the bottom, right in the middle. And then the same thing on the other side, just pulling that fur away so that it attaches nicely to each other. And then on the back end, we're going to attach the bottom first, folding it up, hot gluing it down. And then the top, we're going to do the same thing, just glue it down, tucking it in a little bit, just we don't want to see the edge. And then we're just going to comb it down, and you can see you don't even see where it meets up then. And we're going to do the same thing in the front. Tacking it all down right into the center. Because of the ball there, we will see this one a little bit more, but it's okay because that's where our nose is going to go anyway, so we kind of want to make a flat spot there. So I just kind of combed the fur the way I want it to be to attach our nose later. Next, I just took a marker and drew a little ear shape on my foam core board, just a guide to go by so that they're all the same, and I traced 2 of those out on the gray faux fur and then cut those out carefully with scissors, just cutting the backing, not the fur, and then just hot glued down my edges on the long sides there. Same thing on the other one, just hot glue down the edges. It's a little bit hot. And then I did the exact same thing with some pink faux fur. And I'm just, sorry I was working down too low, but I did just cut out 2 of those triangles, same as the gray faux fur. And now we're going to do the exact same thing and just glue down our edges here. And now we're just going to take our pink triangle and glue it right on top of our gray one so that the bad sides are together. So all we see is fur now. And now you can trim this down a little bit too. I did add a little bit of glue right to the bottom and then pinch it together. Same thing on the other one. If you have really long fur, like I said, feel free to trim it down. I did end up trimming these a little bit. Next, I am taking some wine corks and I'm just going to make a hole with a metal tool here. And then I'm going to take these wooden skewers, cut them down about 2 inches long. Add a little hot glue in the hole we made and just pop those skewers right back in there so that they're sticking up. And we're going to do that with 4 of these corks. And once we get those all done, we're going to cut a strip of that gray faux fur just wide enough to cover our corks here. And then we're just going to roll those up in that gray faux fur. So make sure you comb it all down so it's going the same way. And then finishing off with a strip of hot glue as well. And then trim it when you're done. You can just tack down the top there a little bit all the way around just so it looks neat. And same thing if you have extra on the bottom. And we're going to do that for all 4 of these wine corks. Just roll it up in the fur. Next I am taking a 2 styrofoam balls. These ones are a little smaller than these ones are about 1.5 inches. And I'm just going to cut them in half. And then I'm just going to cut little triangle shapes out of the front of them. And then I'm going to cut the back of them off so they're flat at the back. I did decide that was still a little too long, so I cut a little more off. It was almost half, not quite, that I took off the back here. And now we're going to wrap those completely with some black faux fur. So just add some hot glue, making sure you get in that little triangle shape that you cut out. And then tuck that fur right in that little triangle shape as well when you're wrapping it. And hot gluing all the way around. Just wrapping it up. Right at the back, tack it down. And then right where that, we're going to just make a space for it so we can add right where that flat part is at the back. We're going to add some hot glue and just stick that right to our gray faux fur leg there. So now we have just made our first little hoof. And we're going to do that for all of the rest of them. Just keep wrapping it around, hot gluing it and tacking it down, making a space for it, and stick it down on with hot glue. Okay, all 4 of those are done now, so we will work on attaching them. So on the bottom, we are just going to make a space about 1 inch down from where that foam core starts. On each end, we'll make a little spot to poke our legs right in there. And we're just going to pop those sticks right in through the foam core board into the pool noodle, sorry. Just pushing them in straight, making sure they're all facing the same direction. And then we're just going to comb our hair and start attaching our nose. So we're just going to use some E6000 on the back of our polymer clay nose with a little hot glue around that. And the reason we do that is polymer clay does not stick very long with hot glue. So next we will add our horns. We're just going to put those a little bit back from our nose. Decide where about you want those. And once you get them where you want them, you're just going to pull them out a little bit, add a little hot glue to that toothpick inside, and then push them back in, holding it firmly. And then we're going to take our ears that we made and add it right underneath our horn. Same thing with the other side, add a little hot glue to our toothpick, poke it in, and add some hot glue to our ears. Same thing with our legs, we're going to just pull them out a little bit, add a little hot glue to that skewer, and stick them back in. And next I'm just going to play around deciding what I want to do for flowers on this guy. I decided to go with just 3 simple roses right above his ear there, or his horn. Comb his hair all nice, part it in the middle, comb it down at the back. There he is. Well, there he is. Our little Highland Cow is all ready to go. He is so sweet. And he can be changed in so many different ways by just changing the fur alone. He looks completely different. Or changing up the nose, like I said before. You could put a little ring in it or whatever you want to do. Make it your own. I hope you guys like this tutorial. And thank you so much for joining me again. I appreciate you guys so much. And until next time, love to all.